Hey, Void. Well, this one came out of nowhere. Alright, so today I was on a shutter for it, and my randomization generated the movie Patchwork, a 2015 film that I had never heard of. And so, which usually doesn't work the highest expectations in me, since I usually am fairly up and up on a lot of the horror flicks that come out. And reading the premise, this one sounded interesting, but I wasn't sure if it was what I was ready for. Oh, I wasn't ready. Because I'm not gonna lie, I love the hell out of this movie. Okay, so Patchwork, 2015 horror comedy, and it has a really good sense of humor, I will say. It's about three women who go out to the club, like you do, and all of them seem to be awkward loners, not well, or having some problems socially. Uh, you got Jennifer, who's a little bit controlling, and but all her friends seem to be ignoring and ditching her as she's out for her birthday and celebrating a big merger deal, but no one's showing up. And except for two of her coworkers who drop by briefly, and it's obviously pretty awkward. So there's her. Not to mention her boyfriend doesn't stay along either because, well, she's having an affair with him. Then you have Ellie, who's a college girl and trying to be bar queen, but it's clear she's more awkwardly inserting herself next to people and just more desperately trying to get any form of attention. And Madeline, who's clearly got some image issues and is just trying to find a decent selfie and is having problems interacting. So, the next morning, they all wake up in the same body, Frankenstein together, as some sort of patchwork piecemeal monster. Now they have to figure out what happened to them, why it happened, and how all three of them can control this one body. Essentially, the head is like a patchwork of all three faces. You have Madeline's mouth, and then each of the eyes is a head face. It comes from Jennifer and Elle. So you've got like two different hairdos going, and these rough scars going across her face, and she's moving jerkily as three people are pretty much at the wheel here. And I like how this movie works it, because every so often it'll show her doing that, but then it'll like cut to inside her head where all the characters are still in the same room, but just kind of sitting about and talking to each other as if that's like their internal monologue. And it's working. And occasionally, like whoever's primarily in control will be shown doing the actions, but occasionally, like someone will like put a hand in to like hold her back, and it'll just cut to outside what it actually looks like. And it did lead to some pretty good moments as they slowly are at first terrified of being trapped like this and trying to figure out how to interact before going on this vengeance spree over all the people who they think either had something to do with it or wronged them in getting them to here. And so they go on a brutal murder spree, and it is great. When Elle is getting back at some frat boys that tried to coerce her into sex on tape, it just seeing the combination, pretty much put on the headphones and start just dancing to the music as she grabs like an axe and just goes into the frat and just tears it apart. It was really entertaining. Not to mention the mad doctor who did this is so over the top. He is. I have rarely seen a performance like this. Just he was chewing every scene he was in and to a delightful degree. And as a surprise, I didn't recognize him at first, but James Phelps is in this movie. Uh, if you don't know, he was in Harry Potter as one of the Weasley twins. He played. I think he was Fred. Yes, he was Fred. Ed Weasley. But so seeing him apart from his brother and doing his own thing in this, it was really, really well done. And he played a great awkward nerd character, so he I didn't realize it was him at first. The voice was pretty familiar, but the performance definitely set him aside pretty well for here. The movie's got a great sense of humor. The gore effects are great, and there's a few twists and turns along the way. The movie's told in chapters, which normally can get a little annoying, but this one did make it work. Essentially, you see from one person's perspective on the night, then it'll cut to the present where they're the combination monster. Then it'll flash back to someone else's perspective on how they got there, and kind of proceed like that. So it was a good way of telling the story. And yes, there's a twist involved in how and why they got like this, and part of me did guess an element of it coming. Not the full degree, but at least an element of it, and I was completely okay with that though, because it was one of those, oh, if this happens, I think it'd be really cool if this is how it was part of it, and I was not disappointed to be right. It was a good reveal, and I'm glad they went that route. So it's a fun, gory, bloody comedy, and I mean, I won't put it up on like the level of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil or something like that, but this one did really work for me, and it hit that sweet spot of being just ridiculous enough without being too over the top, and the humor was it had me laughing pretty a good amount of times during this one. So I won't say it's the greatest movie out there, but it hit at just the right time for me with just the right mood. So I'm gonna give this one 4 MacGuffins. It's just a great character study on how these women interact while trying to pilot the same body, and that alone was worth it. I had no idea where they were gonna go with this premise, and I wasn't disappointed. So I really enjoyed the ride for this one. It's not a scary movie, but it's not really trying to be. It's a gory comedy, but it's a fun gory comedy. Since you're more or less the person who does have the highest body count is our heroines, and I'm okay with that. Seeing the people that they're going after get some comeuppance was cathartic. It was good. I I probably like this movie more than it probably deserves because it's not a high art film and it's not trying to be, but it was a fun, entertaining ride. And so far, of all the movies I've seen, this is the one I'm most likely to actually go out and purchase myself. I mean, I've seen and a lot of them I do own already, but most of them I could take or leave. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed to have any of them in my collection, but this is the only one I actually will put on a few lists of. I'm going to keep an eye out for this one. I had never heard of it, and never have seen it out in the wild, so hopefully I come across a copy. All right. Have a good night, everyone.